Half-Bloods, welcome to a very special episode, and it might not be special for the amazing content that we have, although we do have an action-packed, heavy content episode, which I'm very excited for, but also we have William calling in from his
What up?
phone. William, are you calling in from the lightning-struck tower?
Yes, I am, because a week ago, lightning struck my house or the sidewalk in front of my house and fried a ton of electronics and ruined my computer and a bunch of other personal items. Took out my AC for a couple days, among other
You're up.
things. And now nothing works, and I don't know why. I'm on my phone. This laptop was not even plugged in. It shouldn't have been connected at all, and I don't think it was, but it definitely wasn't. But I don't know why my regular stuff won't work. But yeah,
There's
it's been
bad
a
juju.
terrible week.
There's bad
It's
juju
been a
in the
terrible
air.
week, and it's continuing to be terrible. There's a million things I have to do before we leave on Saturday to drive across the country.
But he's here, Half-Bloods. He's
I'm
here.
And from the lightning struck tower.
We're working hard. William and I are both actually on vacation this week, so lucky for us, or next week. So lucky for us, that aligned. But we, of course, the pod will go on. We'll have a very special episode posting with my brother-in-law Trevor, where it's the ultimate, much needed. I can't even say my own game. Ultimate Harry Potter trivia versus AI, and you can see how that goes. It was pretty exciting, William. You would have enjoyed it. He was also sad you weren't there to argue about the Lakers, and I was glad that you were not together.
Nothing nice to say. That
I
would
know.
not have been good, because I would have I would have brought up the obvious, like their hero is a bad person. Deal with it. And then it would have been really awkward and no one would have had fun.
He was like, "Oh, I didn't realize your co-host wasn't going to be here." And I was like, there was a 0% chance I was going to put both of you on a microphone and hit record. 0% chance. I like both of you.
I'm sure I'd get along great with him otherwise, but
and you've met at my wedding, so
heck if I remember that.
you spent more time with my brother talking, as he told you that he was
Kevin.
pregnant.
I remember. Kevin and I have a forever bond.
Fun story that my brother told William his first time meeting him, before he told me, his brother, that he was pregnant with his first child.
His wife was pregnant, to be clear, not Kevin.
But. True, my brother was not pregnant, but he was like, "You have a friend who's a Spurs fan? Oh, let me go talk to him." And then told him that he's pregnant, and basically the Spurs were a part of that story, and felt William needed to know. So
working out some feelings about Ray Allen shot.
Oh, Ray Allen. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We also have some good fan interactions this week, and let's see if anyone notices it this time, where you have a slightly different view, but it really made me laugh. Cami11K said, "Real Half-Blood fans can tell that William is in a different location for this one because you were filming from your bedroom last time." And that made me really happy that someone was willing to shout that out.
Someone noticed. Yeah.
Made me happy. I was like, oh, that's a real fan. William, we also got a lot of comments. Again, I do this because William's not on social media. We got a lot of comments on the use of your word pedantic, which most of the internet, like all the posts on like TikTok and YouTube and Instagram, all had a separate person come on and say, "I don't think you're using pedantic correctly." And every single time that happened, it was a plethora of comments that said, "No, he's using it correctly." Basically, the guy was like, Moody, this was the plot hole with Moody being like, no one's ever survived the killing curse. And you were like, he's being pedantic, talking about the listener who wrote in the question. I didn't know what pedantic meant, but I have had it defined to me by many social media users. I thought you were talking about Moody being pedantic because I didn't know what it meant, but you were talking about the listener.
Yeah, because I was like, I mean, there's no way I'm wrong. I didn't use that incorrectly. I know what pedantic means.
The internet came to your rescue again. All 3 separate posts, 3 separate comments saying, "I don't think he knows what that means."
You know what? You know what's pedantic? People trying to find errors in podcasts and commenting on it in comments.
Good call. Good call. All fair. One more fan interaction. This isn't a fan. This is more, I'm a fan of this person. Zogwarts, who we've called out many times now, started a series on his YouTube channel where he is just going to try to solve Ultimate Harry Potter trivia and go levels 1 through 7. And if he gets one wrong, he's got to go back down. And he's just playing the game for all his YouTube followers. So big shout out Zogwarts.
That's
He's
big
awesome.
for you. That's awesome. Good for Zogwarts. Sounds like an awesome guy.
Zogwarts has been a treasure. We need to have him on the pod, but I'm scared to invite real people to be on the pod. So still hasn't happened, but maybe I'll get there.
They might see us for who we truly are, reject us.
Exactly. Like, why am I here again? You're taping in front of your stairs? I'm out. But anyways, so that was exciting. And then William, while your house was getting struck by lightning, which was the most bizarre thing I've like ever seen, the picture of your sidewalk like burnt and just the damage that it did to your house is
Fried everything.
like the craziest thing I've ever heard. I was having a great week and I went and saw The Odyssey. And I can't talk about things that aren't Harry Potter related like too in depth because people just don't care about anything besides Harry Potter on from us. But William, I guess my question is like, if you do you think that like if we became like Elon Musk level wealthy and we were like Christopher
Listening.
Nolan, I'll pay you $1 billion to make 7 Harry Potter seasons, movies, whatever. Do you think he would do it for $1 billion? I think the answer is no. But
I think the answer is no also because I think he already is like obscenely wealthy
exactly.
anyway. And like, I mean, I don't think he'd be the right person to like tell that story anyway.
50 billion? Okay.
I'm not saying he couldn't do a good job. Like he could do a good job. Like he's amazing at everything. But like I just don't think it would like I don't think his heart would be in it, is all I'm saying.
Well, I don't think he knows how to do a bad job. Like he's not gonna half a movie. But William, you haven't seen The Odyssey, so can you just keep your thoughts to yourself? Christopher Nolan is the perfect person to do this, okay? Sorry, I'm getting defensive. But William, the Cyclops scene is one of the craziest things I've ever seen on a gigantic screen. I don't know how to describe the noises that were produced, but it was the loudest, it was the loudest noise I've ever heard in my life, and it was so bizarre. It was so alien. I still haven't found the behind the scenes video of like how he made these noises, but like it just made me imagine like what if I paid him like $100 million to just make like short clips, and it's just like $100 million, unlimited budget, and make me Hagrid's tale. Just show me the journey of Hagrid going to the Giants, and just take the beauty that you did with this like puppet animatronic. I know there was some CGI, but like so much of it was real. Giant Cyclops with these noises I've never heard of in my life, and just do that times 50 with a bunch of giants going crazy. And it made me not sad that we don't have
that. I get where you're coming from with that. Like he would, like there's nothing he would find a way to take any movie, any story, and bring it to life in a unique way.
Yes.
I'm just saying, like, I don't know him personally. I just don't think his heart would be in like emotionally invested in telling this story.
Whatever.
But maybe he is emotionally invested. But in this made up world where we can pay him to do something, you're assuming he is emotionally invested. And then yes, he'd probably do amazing.
Yes, I am. Okay, well, he's made The Prestige, which is just a magic movie. He's made Interstellar, which is just a movie about love and how love can transcend time and space, which Harry Potter's just it can transcend magic and evil. So like if you just combine The Prestige and Interstellar and The Odyssey, he's basically already made Harry Potter. So just do it. I don't know, Tenet, time travel, like I don't know. He's already made it. Just put it all together. Anyways,
Dunkirk,
it was an incredible movie.
Hogwarts. What's the difference?
Thank you. Now you're on board. You're right. His heart wouldn't be in it, but like, it's not the point here.
I would love to see him like bring to life like a giant though. Like, what would he do to make that? You know what I mean? That would probably be.
I can't describe. I can't describe that scene. It was truly incredible. I'd also love to see what he would do with like transformations, like Polyjuice and Animagus transformations, where when Cersei is turning the men into pigs and there's no CGI and it's all makeup and all camera angles and all real, it's one of the most disturbing scenes in the history of movies. And I would just love to see what he would try to do.
Is it kind of like the Urukai? Like when
that's good. That's good. I kind of like that. Yeah,
that was all practical, right? I mean, it's
Yeah.
different because they're not like transforming, but it was like grotesque and weird.
Yeah, I feel like
Uh,
The Lord of the Rings is, like, the closest thing to the Odyssey that I can imagine, where, yeah, they tried so hard, so practical,
Like Peter
so real
Jackson,
life.
he was like into Harry Potter,
Yes.
like he was the Lord of the Rings. Like,
Agreed. It was amazing, and I wish I had a podcast that I could talk about anything, but I don't because I just have a Harry
he
Potter
got too
game.
obsessed with CGI though. That's the problem.
That's fair. Well, he got too lazy, I guess. I don't know. To your point, his heart wasn't in The Hobbit. Um, anyways. Uh, this isn't a fan interaction. This is really like thinking back to last week. So William, last week we did like happiest moments, best fist pumping moments. And James Shapiro, longtime follower, uh, he brought up a couple that I think are good honorable mentions. It's when everybody simultaneously attacks Malfoy, Crabbe, and Goyle on the Hogwarts Express at the end of book
Very
4.
satisfying moment.
Yes.
Yeah, it's very
And then
satisfying.
the exact same moment at the end of book 5, when all the DAs there, and those are 2 great moments. I truly love them. But
Yep.
they're also on the heels of very sad things and didn't didn't come up on my
They don't
original
add much
reading.
to the decor. They kick him
No,
out.
exactly. And then he also threw out the Battle of Hogwarts when Ron punches Malfoy in the face. That is good. We
Very
already
good.
brought up like 6 Battle of Hogwarts moments, and this happens right after Fred dies, like so shortly after Fred dies. It's too soon. It's too soon.
It is.
But fun shout outs. It was worth bringing up, I thought. All right, William. Last fan interaction is our. Well, I guess I have one more, William. And that is we, 2 weeks in a row posted Darth Vader comments. Basically, last week I told you that Darth Vader versus Voldy, we're getting a lot of press on it, a lot of comments. Cassie, remade that, basically took me telling you that and posted it again. And that video has 300 comments on it, which just to me is ridiculous. There's just people arguing
Glad
with
people
them.
are arguing.
Yes, it's been very fun. We'll have Hunter on. I think he's our guy. Again, I'm scared to have, real people on the podcast. So sorry, Hunter, you're not real, but he's not listening, so it doesn't matter. And we'll have that debate.
Would love to.
But now we'll get to the Harry Potter trivia question of the week. Fan submitted. Spain Drain, who made fun of us for Taylor Swift, is still banned, and I just wanted to call that out because he submitted some good questions. But I confronted him about it, and he did not apologize and said, "Yeah, it was sad and disappointing." So still banned. Just wanted to call that out. So this is not from him. This is from Jasmine Gillette, who submitted one a couple weeks ago. The Paddington one. She also, in that same message, asked, "I'd like to see if he could name the order in which Harry did his school supply shopping in the first book," which is one of my favorite questions where you have to list multiple things. So, William, can you list the order that Harry visits places in Diagon Alley and does his shopping?
I'm not in the right state of mind for all this. Um,
Dance, monkey,
Schools Black.
dance.
Well, he doesn't get his wand first. They wake up in the hut. They go. Hagrid's like, mind if I use some magic? They take a train. They go to Gringotts first.
Very good.
Does that count as
Yes, I'm
like
counting
their?
that. I'm counting that. She didn't actually
Okay.
give me answers. I looked up the answers myself. So, yes.
Oh, she didn't. Yeah, they go to Gringotts. And then immediately he's sick, and he goes to Madame Malkin's next.
Yes. Meets
Because Hagrid's
Draco.
like, I'm sick. I need to go get drunk to wear off the sickness.
Correct.
Which is a
Correct.
totally normal thing to do, right?
Well, when you're a giant, I mean, half giant, like he's not getting drunk. Okay, he's just getting a little
I mean,
buzz.
he's a lightweight, I guess, or he just drank a lot more than Slughorn that one night, right?
That's a good point. That's a good point. I wonder what his actual capacity is. Is he a lightweight or is he drinking? I mean, he's drinking out of
I think he's
tankards.
just drinking hard stuff.
Agreed.
He's not like Steve Rogers who like can't get drunk,
Exactly.
Yeah, they
All
go
right.
there, Madame Malkin's, maybe then books, Flourish and Blots, I think.
Correct.
He wants to curse Dudley. Potion ingredients, is that next? Like the apothecary?
Yes, I also put he got a cauldron at an unnamed shop, but the apothecary is the next like name. But apothecary is still not even a name. But yeah, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, it's not named. Apothecary would be disgusting. Uh,
I was watching the third Spider-Man. What is that? No Way Home. And
yeah,
Ned opens Doctor Strange's fridge and it's just like living creatures in there. And I'm like, I feel like that's what Snape's like cupboards look like. It was pretty gross. And I was curious what they did they
that's
eat those
gross.
things? Or are they there for potions? I was very curious.
I don't know, who knows? They probably like pickle them and make spells like they do in Harry Potter, you know.
Right. Thank you.
And then they go to get Hedwig and then a wand, right?
That is correct. And because your house got struck by lightning, I won't get mad at you for not saying they go to ILOP's Owl Emporium and to Ollivander's Wand Shop, but you of course know that.
I do know the
Congratulations,
names
William.
of them,
I
but
know you know the names. Jasmine should be pleased. It was a good question, and because of your fatigue and, you know, basically suckiness of life, that took you a long time. So good for Jasmine. William,
that's a good.
we buried the lead. Today we are talking about the worst chapters in Harry Potter history,
Yeah, we are.
which is mostly a clickbait title because I love all the chapters in Harry Potter, but I did try to pick
Yes.
the chapters I least enjoy reading, which is very different than the worst chapters, but by default, they are the worst chapters in Harry Potter history. William, this was a lot harder for me than saddest moments or happiest moments or best chapters
Yes, it
overall.
was.
This was a lot harder.
Can I go
Like,
first?
yes, you can. And I'm going to really write these down so that we can have a summary at the end. We don't have to pause and Cassie edit it out. But I feel like we need one video that we just list our 10 so that we can get real
Yeah,
reactions. So I am ready. William, give us our number one worst chapter in Harry Potter.
the Unknowable Room.
It's on my list. I'm glad we're aligned.
His obsession with Draco and like he's already been yelled at by Dumbledore. That's Lord Voldemort request, which is one of the best chapters. So he's already been like chastised. Like this is really important, dude. And then obviously he's like, well, I don't know how to do it yet. I'm gonna go stalk Draco more. Which fully vindicated. He was right. But it's still, I guess it's slightly annoying.
William, I'm so glad you chose this. I have like some groupings of chapters where like these moments suck. And the Unknowable Room, I had technically crossed off, and I was going to do Elf Tales, which is chapter 19, right before he gets chastised by Dumbledore. I couldn't decide what to do. I'm
Had that
glad
on
you
my
chose
list.
that. I'm not choosing Elf Tales because they're the same moment. Because it's really in chapter 20 when he gets chastised by Dumbledore, which is just so horrible. But that actually is a great chapter. So I can't choose that one at all. But yeah, in chapter 19, like Harry's obsession begins in full. He this leads to the disappointment in Dumbledore, and he loses the Quidditch match, gets knocked off by McLaggen. It's only his second loss ever. And
Mm,
so I was leaning towards 19, but 21, I hate it for all the same reasons. Because after he's chastised, to your point, he goes and just spends double time trying to get Malfoy, even after he's been chastised. It's like, what are you doing, dude? Stop it. Um, it's just
yes.
he's delaying using the Felix Felicis, which is such a great
Yeah.
chapter.
Most of these, like, I would describe as like I found inconsequential and not so much like unenjoyable. I guess this
That's
is
fair.
the closest to like unenjoyable, even though it's
Right.
not because it's part of the whole story, you
Right.
know.
Again, we love Harry Potter. This is a clickbaity title, and I'm okay with it. William, so glad that we got that. I have 10 answers on here, but I already crossed out like multiple of them because they're like the same moments as other times. And so I hope that I have enough that I can actually deliver a top 10. But if you have all the same that I do, I'm not sure that I do. I'm next, and I am doing book 7, chapter 15, which is The Goblins Revenge. This is when the fighting truly begins amongst our trio. The Horcrux is taking over Ron's personality. He becomes a true Pab, as Trevor would say. They still can't get any food, which is just so frustrating. It's like, again, I've talked about this. They give good reasons. Dementors are there. They're horrified to go into public because they've got found them before and they don't know that Voldemort has been tabooed. So, like, it makes sense, again, why they're so stupid, even though they have magic, they can't get food, but it's so frustrating. They have no progress finding a Horcrux. It's the beginning of like Harry doesn't know what he's doing, and like why didn't Dumbledore tell him more? There's so much Dumbledore doubt, and then at the end of it all, Ron leaves, and that is the end of the chapter. And you know that Ron leaving is my least favorite act in all of Harry Potter, and I hate this chapter. Okay, I don't hate it, but I hate Ron at this moment. don't like Harry or Hermione or Dumbledore at this moment. There's just a lot of frustration for me. And chapter 15, Goblins Revenge.
Yeah, that's good. That's when Ron leaves, right? So
Oh yes, that is his
straight up
departure.
when he leaves.
How dare
Yeah.
you betray the boy who lived? It makes me so angry. The the one positive is we get to hear about like life at Hogwarts and we get the setup of the sword, which obviously has a huge payoff, but not worth it for all those downsides to me. Was that on your list? Were you sniffing that?
Yes, it was. It was. Um, trying to think. Okay, so that's a good one. I am choosing between
This is gonna be tough. I don't
another
know if
one
we're
in
gonna get
book
a top 10.
7,
Uh-huh.
another one in book 7.
Te escucho.
Um, I mean, it's kind of like I'm gonna go with chapter 22, the Deathly Hallows.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and the reason is because like this is where he says Voldemort and gets
Right.
them caught,
Right.
right?
Fair.
And like he's like discovering and thinking about like all these Deathly Hallows and all that, but he's kind of like losing the plot, and then all of a sudden it just ends with a bad thing happening. So like he's like putting together all this stuff. So I guess it's kind of important, but it's not like the most enjoyable read, I guess, is what I'm kind of going for there. Because getting caught is just like so breathtakingly dumb and a huge mistake that like the disappointment of him like screwing up that bad. You know what I mean? Like the
Yeah.
reason they got caught is just 100% dumb mistake, his fault. He just got too excited and was like focused in on the Deathly Hollows, and it's just our hero making a massive error. That's why I put it. Like,
This
if that makes sense.
it does. I mean, this is in parallel path with book 6, why you're frustrated with Harry, who's again missing the mark. He's focused on Draco instead of
Mhm.
Horcruxes. Here he's focused on Hallows instead of Horcruxes. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
But with the worst, I tried to, when I was telling Cassie we were doing this, she was like, "What are you gonna do?" And I was like, "I don't know, like Malfoy Manor is pretty horrible." She's like, "Yeah, but it's so exciting and like such a huge event. You can't call that like the
Yeah.
worst chapter." She's like, "Yeah, you're right. But this is the way to pigeon that to force that in." It's like such mistakes are happening. This leads to Dobby's death. Like, this is horrible. That was the perfect way to put it in. Great choice, William. Didn't make it to my list. Great choice.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just like it's one thing to like make a mistake, and that one is just like so breathtakingly stupid.
You
If that
know you
makes
can't
sense.
say it. Like, is there an equivalent of that? That's like, there's one button on the computer you can't press, like, and you pressed it, like, and
Yeah.
it alerted
Like
everyone to
whatever
your
you do, don't
location.
push that button. And then he's
Yes.
like got all excited. He's like, I pushed the button. Oops.
It's
Yeah.
like, well, now Dobby dies. So good for you.
Yeah.
Good choice, William.
Yeah.
I am going to a lot of the world's least favorite book, not mine. Book 5, chapter 4, a chapter that we talked a lot about last month as we went through our defense of the Order of the Phoenix. This is when Harry arrives. This is number 12 Grimmauld Place is what the chapter's called. And Harry, this is, I think, this is actually be a fun test for me to go look up of the chapter with the most capital words. And
Just yelling at them. Who saved the Sorcerer's Stone? Who did this?
I think this chapter might have the most
And
capital
out his
words.
feelings.
Yeah.
If only he was
Um,
more like Troy Bolton, he could just dance out his feelings.
if only he was a dual sport athlete, but unfortunately, he's a one trick pony. Um, yeah, I mean, again, when I defended Order of the Phoenix, I said, okay, here's the one part. Here is Harry's true low. This is the one part where you can be like, Harry's being annoying. Yes, this is it. But then he immediately recovers from there. He treats Hermione and Ron better from here. I feel like all of his other interactions are more justified. This is the low point. It's pretty bad. And this is really all that happens. Like we're still not getting a ton of news. Again, we're like, to me, I'm like as frustrated as Harry is when I'm reading this. I'm like, okay, but like, what is Voldemort doing? And what is the Order doing? Like, we get introduced to extendable years and we do get caught up on like how the ministry is just being so horrible. But that doesn't really make you feel better. It's not like super enjoyable. And I don't know. It's
Mhm.
a tough chapter.
That is a tough chapter.
We feel Harry's
That's a good way to
embarrassment.
think of it. Um,
I mean, the last thing I'll say, like Order of the Phoenix, like someone commented this week where it was just like, yes, I can understand why Harry is a whiny baby in the fifth book, and I cannot enjoy reading it. Both things can be true. And I was like, okay, you're right. That's fair. I've been very harsh and very like, if you don't like the fifth book, then you don't have a heart. Again, I get what they're coming from, where it's like, I get how much his life sucks. I feel for him. Also, I'd rather read the fourth book or the sixth book, and that's obviously fair.
yeah, yeah, that's true.
All right, William, we got four. We still have six left. I feel like that's a lot. I'm worried we're not going to be able to make a top 10. Let's see.
I guess I'm gonna go with the Deathday Party.
Oh, interesting. I didn't
Um,
have that.
the Deathday Party. It's very inconsequential. It's interesting, and it's what I love about like again, I like the clickbait title of this. It's not a bad chapter. It just adds color to the situation, and it's the only way we know what year it is. So that's important, but that's kind of just such a small detail. Other than that, it only serves to like do something to get them to go a different route to come back from the feast and see the blood on the wall.
Yeah, I
So
mean, what do we
the
learn
Death
from
Day
this?
Party.
And what that's obviously book 2. Is that like chapter 7? Do you have it?
I've got me here. No, I don't have it in front of me. No, it's 8, chapter 8.
Oh, so
8.
close. Yeah, I'm trying to think of what we like learn because there's always plot progression. There's always character introduction. We're introduced to Myrtle, which is not a fun character, so not a win for that chapter. Obviously, we get some good ghost interactions, but like ghost lore, all it does is confuse me. We did a whole episode on ghosts and how I don't really understand the
Yeah,
laws around them. So, yeah, I think that's a great pick. I mean, is that as filler gets? Like, it might be. Again, it's world expansion. We get to see the world of ghosts, which again is like the least interesting world to me, or just the most confusing. It's not the least interesting. It's just the most confusing. I don't understand the physics
being
of
a
ghosts.
ghost sounds like hell, to be honest.
I think that is the
You're
point.
neither here nor there, and
Literal hell.
it's worse than anything.
Agreed. Agreed. Okay. Um, I am going to go with, so this is number 6 for us. I'm going to go with an introductory chapter. I'm going to go with, sorry to hate on Chamber of Secrets, which we both ranked last in our favorite books. I'm going to go with Chamber of Secrets, chapter 1, The Worst Birthday. And the reason I'm doing that is to represent all literature where we have a sequel and we kind of have to do a catch up.
It's basically a previously on. It's like a previously on.
I really don't enjoy the previous line. I don't need it. There's good stuff in this chapter. We see Dobby in the bushes. We feel Harry's pain for having no friends. The Dursley interactions are always hilarious. You know, I'll be up in my room pretending I don't exist. There's good stuff in there, but there's so much of Harry Potter was an unusual boy, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, when I'm reading it to my children, like they're bored. When it's just, when there's not characters
Because they're
doing
already so
stuff,
familiar with it,
yes,
they're already so familiar. And so
yes.
they don't need the reintroduction, but you do need it in the context of when it was written. But yeah,
So
for
I thought
rereadable
about,
purposes.
exactly. I thought about this one. They do it again in chapter 1 of book 3. And then the rest from there, the opening chapter is never that. There's still a little bit of recap in there, but book 2 and book 3 are the worst in my opinion. And again,
Mhm.
had to pile the hate on Chamber of Secrets, which is the worst Harry Potter book. Clickbait. All right, William. 4 more.
All right. I'm gonna go with maybe I'll go with the Firebolt. Like when they get the Firebolt, that chapter, the
Ooh,
Firebolt,
I
because it
was
just breaks up a friendship,
yeah.
and like nothing else really happens other than Hermione rats on them for having a Firebolt. Not even rats on them. She kind of like ruins their fun, and now they hate their friend.
What a sad statement, but that
You
is
know,
accurate.
it's not. Other than that, they're having a great time at Christmas. They're excited, and then it all comes crashing down, and they are no longer friends with her for a few months.
Is that chapter 11?
Good question. Let me.
We need this.
Yes, chapter 11.
So I won't include this as again, you have again picked like the bookend of bad moments for me. When
Okay.
I was leaning towards the front end, and for this I was leaning towards grim defeat. Again, Harry's other Quidditch loss match. Um, he loses his Nimbus 2000, so the reason the Firebolt exists at all.
Grim defeats. Yeah. Tough.
Snape calls Hermione an insufferable know-it-all. Snape also subs in Defense Against the Dark Arts. Lupin's not there, and he's the worst teacher ever. Malfoy makes the schedule change. You know,
You can pick this chapter. There's nothing wrong with it being a bookend of the.
it was. Yeah, I'm not sure because this is tough, William. This is tough.
I think it's
Um,
totally fair to pick that chapter. I don't think it's like
I'm gonna
split it
wait.
apart.
Maybe I'll pick it for my 10th, and I've already done the description. But before
Yeah.
that, before that, I'm gonna pick. So this is number 8. So you've got one more. I'll do the last one. I am doing book 4, chapter 18, The Weighing of the Wands, which
I
ultimately,
would never pick this.
I know it's a fun chapter. It is ultimately a fun chapter, but
Yeah.
I'm really picking Harry's low moments, right? Like his Quidditch losses, his loss of his broom. This is Harry's low point without Ron. Ron doesn't believe him. He cannot believe it. Potter stink badges emerge. His interview with Rita Skeeter, not a positive. Um, this is when Snape tells Hermione, "I see no difference," and I'm filled with rage as I think of what I would do
Yeah.
if I had an abusive teacher to my children. And the weighing of the wands is cool. Ollivander being there is cool. Rehashing the twin cores, good stuff. But this is a low point. So frustrating. It only goes up from here. There's no action. There's no dragons. It's a small pause before the book really takes off. I'm calling this. I, I feel good about putting this in the top 10.
Mhm. I love that chapter so much. It never would have crossed my mind in any way to.
It's a good chapter, but it's
I
such
see
a
where you're
low
coming
point
from,
for
though.
Harry.
It's not. Yeah. Um. All right.
This is hard.
I'm. It is hard. I get my last one. I'll pick it. It's chapter 3 in the Goblet of Fire, the Invitation. There's nothing
Mhm.
bad about it. It's just the first 2 chapters, like the Riddle House and then the Scar. I kind of decided between this and the Scar because the Scar is just like recapping, pretty
Right.
much.
We have our recapping down though.
Um,
Yeah.
like he wakes up and recaps, and then like writes Sirius the letter. And then the next one, he's just hanging out at the Dursleys. He gets a letter, and he's like, I'm gonna go to the Quidditch World Cup." That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so it's
Yeah.
just kind of like inconsequential, um, I guess,
Right.
but it's just moving it along.
I mean,
So I don't know. I
chapter.
kind of felt bad. Like we already did a recap one, but the Scar is might be the other choice for that one too.
I mean, to that point, chapter 2 and 3, like, there should be one chapter. Like,
Yeah,
there's
why are they separate? Yeah.
that's really what it is, right? And if you got rid of a little bit of the recap, like, we could move on a little quicker and move into this. I wonder how long is the invitation? Is it like 6 pages long? Like, I feel like it's
It's
tiny.
pretty long.
Is it really?
Let me see here. Yeah, you're right. It's like 6 pages.
Yeah. Just like this is, I don't know, call it like the letters. I guess we already have owl post later. Like, I don't know what you do, but that's really funny. Just
Yeah.
that's a great choice. It's one of the worst Harry Potter chapters because it's 6 pages and like why is this a chapter? I think it's a great
Yeah.
answer. Okay, William. I need to round us out with number 10. And I think I either have to go with Grim Defeat or I could pick another book 5 one. It has similar reasons to why I don't like uh, it has similar reasons to why I don't like chapter 4, with Harry just being moody, but they're slightly different. Should I put more hate on book 5? I think that's what I need to do. I've already given a very good honorable mention. I gotta do that. I have 2 chapters to choose from. I'm gonna go with chapter 5 or sorry, book 5, chapter 11, The Sorting Hat's New Song. In this chapter,
Mhm.
Harry gets his first taste of what the rest of the school is thinking of him. There's whispers everywhere. He has to confront Seamus, who is no longer boys with him. We get introduced to Umbridge, our true villain. Well, second introduction to Umbridge, but what she's really going to be. She gives her horrible speech. We and again, not a lot of prop progression. The sorting hats warning is cool, and again, always getting back to Hogwarts. Getting back to Hogwarts again, like I feel like we feel like Harry getting back to Hogwarts is always the best. He's so excited. Not this
Yeah.
time. I feel the same way. It's a letdown. Again, book 5 has low moments. Again, I empathize with those who are like, it's my least favorite book. I get it a little bit more. Again, I spent 7 podcasts defending it, but I do get it. I feel good about having 2 from book 5 in here. There's a lot of low points for Harry, and that's what I base most of these on.
I get that. I get that.
All right,
Yeah.
William, how do you feel about our top 10?
Feel dirty because I like all these chapters and I feel dirty discussing them in a negative light. Anyway.
the The only honorable mentions I have are again, they're piggybacks. I guess it's only yeah, there's only 2. One is The Woes of Mrs. Weasley, which is, of course,
Mm.
in between the 2 I just picked, where this is where Dumbledore, like, abandons Harry, and Harry just after the hearing. The hearing is awesome, and then right after is The Woes of Mrs. Weasley, and Harry's just left kind of like, "Well, where's Dumbledore?" Then he sees Lucius Malfoy, which is a truly, like, gut-wrenching moment of just, like, full in your face, like, this is how stupid the ministry is being. Ron becomes a prefect and Harry reacts very poorly. Everyone talking about him at the meeting or at the party. Then we get the picture, which is a sad moment. It's a cool moment for the readers actually to see everybody, but for Harry, it's horrible. And then of course we get the woes of Mrs. Weasley. It's a pretty negative chapter, despite positive things that should be happening. Like and Sirius like being all pouty that Harry's leaving. Like a lot of negatives in this chapter.
Yeah.
A lot. My my last one is book 7, chapter 14, The Thief, which again is literally the companion chapter with the Goblins Revenge. It's where it all starts, where they have the Horcrux and they start to argue and they start to not to get food and they start to be mad at Dumbledore. But it all escalates dramatically in the next chapter. So I can't pick those as back to back chapters, but that's the low point of book 7 for sure.
Get that. I thought about putting whatchamacallit, The Life and Lies of Albus Dumbledore, just because
I
it's a
thought about that.
massive bummer. It's
I
just a
thought about that as
bummer.
well. Yes.
It's not bad, it's good. But like it's like
But it's so
it's a
much good
bummer.
information. It's so much good
Yeah.
information.
But you know what I mean? From like a certain aspect, you talk about worse, like that's one interpretation of what worse could be, you
Agreed.
know.
It was on my it didn't make it to my actual list, but it was on my thought process list. I agree.
Um, Same thing, like I thought about book 6 where like the seer overheard. Like finding that out
Yes.
like is a blow. And it's
I feel
not like a fun time.
I feel like I can actually feel like the bile going through Harry as he gains this knowledge and is bursting
Yeah.
with it in front of Dumbledore. I can like literally feel how that would just explode out of you. It's horrible.
Yeah, it's awful. It's terrible. So yeah, I see that
Good
for
answers.
sure.
Good answers.
Yeah.
All right, William, here's the social media clip. I'm going to read our chapters and let's get like 600 views on this, and it's going to be awesome. Here are the Half Blood Pod's worst chapters in Harry Potter. We have Book 6, Chapter 21, The Unknowable Room. Book 7, Chapter 15, The Goblins' Revenge. Book 7, Chapter 22, The Deathly Hallows. Book 5, Chapter 4, Number 12, Grimmauld Place. Book 2, Chapter 8, The Deathday Party. Book 2, Chapter 1, The Worst Birthday. Book 3, Chapter 11, The Firebolt. Book 4, Chapter 18, The Weighing of the Wands. Book 4, Chapter 3, The Invitation. And finally, Book 5, Chapter 11, The Sorting Hat's New Song. There's a social media clip for you, babe. Let's get some reactions. Yeah, it
Dang
probably
right.
won't work. Probably get 2 comments and 1 share, but it's fine.
None of them are bad. They're just different.
As a person who makes a lot of lists, everybody hates on the lists, but nobody comes with their list, you know? So everyone who wants to hate on this, tell me your top 10 worst chapters. You have to choose them, okay?
Yeah, you have to choose. Like, what do you dislike? Like, what are the chapters you dislike? You know?
Exactly. You gotta pick them. There's 199 chapters. Rank them. You don't have to rank them all. Rank the bottom 10. Okay. It's not easy. William, I think we did a great job. I'm glad we squeaked it out.
Yeah, we did a great
And
job.
we were, I feel like, more aligned on this one, surprisingly, than the other two, where you came out of left field on a couple, and I was more prepared for these. So great job by us.
Yeah,
William, let's
that
end.
was a good job.
That was fun. Let's end with a Fred versus George.
Do it.
Last week I gave you a softball, and this one, not so much. I have a lot of reading that I can do, but basically the question is who is talking of blackmail and is actually holding the blackmail letter when Fred and George enter the owlry and they're overheard by Ron, Harry, and Hermione. I can read some of that text for you if you would like, but that's the question. Who, Fred or
Yeah,
George?
go ahead and read it. Read it.
Here we go. The owlry door banged open. Fred and George came over the threshold, then froze at the sight of Harry, Ron, and Hermione. What are you doing here? Well, this is just a fun part. This is just when they all keep repeating each other. What are you doing in here? Ron and Fred said at the same time. Sending a letter, said Harry and George in unison. What, at this time? Said Hermione and Fred. And we'll pause there. Then that was just set up. Now here's the actual question where I won't say whose name it is. Fine. We won't ask you what you're doing if you don't ask us, Blank said. He was holding a sealed envelope in his hand. Harry glanced at it, but Blank, whether accidentally or on purpose, shifted his hand so that the name on it was covered. Well, don't let us hold you up, Blank said, making a mock bow and pointing at the door. Ron didn't move. Who are you blackmailing? He said. The grin vanished from Blank's face. All of those were the same twin.
I'm gonna go with George, but I feel like it's Fred. I'm going with George.
For the second time, you have gone with
Fred.
George, and you knew it was Fred.
It's always Fred. It's always Fred. I tried to outthink myself. It's always Fred. I don't know why I even tried.
This is 5 in a row, Fred. I'm not doing it on purpose. This is 5 in a row.
I know, because Fred's the main character. She hates George. She hates him.
I'm sorry, William. You're down to 84%. You're at 21 out of 25.
I will soldier on.
You're doing amazing.
It's always Fred. It's always Fred.
It's not a 50-50 shot. It is much higher. 75-25. William did amazing. Let's let everyone remember that this is your lightning struck Michael Jordan flu game podcast episode. So mad respect to you. Also, William, I sent you a gift card to In-N-Out. I don't know if you've received it yet. It was too late in the process where like it's not digital. And it was like, we have to mail it to him. And I was like, are you kidding me? But it was too late. And so I wanted it to get there when you could actually use it and you didn't have an oven, but it should be in the mail.
Oven.
Oh, well, that's good. You can go to In-N-Out. You can go at least twice.
Yeah, we can.
With the amount that I sent, hopefully.
Nice. That was very nice. Thank you. We will definitely use it. I don't know. I don't know. I'll check the mail tomorrow.
I'm looking for In-N-Out in my email. Yeah. I'll look for it. It still just says shipping confirmation. No? Yeah, it's still just shipping confirmation. It doesn't say it's been delivered, but maybe I can check. So slow. How do they not have digital gift cards? But I was like, I love In-N-Out,
dude. Like, what do they don't care.
They don't. I guess not.
Because they do a good job at what they do, and they're like, nah, we're not changing anything.
I should have just sent you Chick-fil-A. I love Chick-fil-A too. Should have just.
I guarantee you we will use the In-N-Out either this week or in our travel next week, driving through New Mexico, Utah, and other places.
So fun.
So
again, Half-Bloods. William will not be here next week. We pre-filmed AI versus Ultimate Harry Potter Trivia. We'll all miss William, but then William and I will be back after that. I don't know what we'll be doing, William. I'll figure that out while we're on vacation. maybe Darth Vader versus Voldemort. I don't know. We'll find out.
Heck yeah, that would be fun. That would be
You
fun.
can ponder it as you drive through the glorious parts of the United States.
American Southwest.
Let's go. All right, William. I love you. Half Bloods. We love you too. See you in 2 weeks, I guess. Next week.
Heck
We
yeah.
always we pod every week. We don't stop. Pod so hard. Mother